So, the bottom line is just this: we have to take care of our environment, we have to take care of our planet. Well, if we don't, well, then no need to worry because the planet will eventually take care of itself. It does. The planet, the earth, takes care of itself. It's a self correcting system, it's a self healing system. It heals itself. It has been doing so for the past 4.5 billion years. We humans are just we have just evolved like yesterday in when you compare ourselves to the history of the earth, which has been here for 4.5 billion years. We have evolved like a few thousand years ago, 100,000 years ago. Modern humans have evolved, and earth has been through far worse. It has been through drastic climate changes, asteroid bombardings, and whatnot, many things. And yet, it has managed to heal itself. And our doings is nothing for it. It will eventually heal itself. But the problem is just this: in doing so, in healing itself, it's going to take any drastic measures, irrespective of what would happen to all the species living on it, including us human beings. So, if we don't care of our environment, if we don't try to heal its wounds that we have inflicted upon it over many years, it will eventually heal itself. It does. But when that happens, it's not going to be pretty for us. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be nasty. It's not going to be good at all. So, we have to take care of our environment. We have to take care of our planet before it's too late. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications. Thank you. Hello friends, Namaste. How are you? In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of trees in our lives and the importance of trees for the environment. Trees are very useful in our everyday lives. Trees are the base of the food chain. They are the primary producers. Without them, there is no life on earth. Trees also help in purification of three important things that every living creature on this planet relies on: the air, the water, and the soil. The air that we breathe is purified by the trees by reducing all the pollutants in it and enriching it with the oxygen that we breathe through a process called photosynthesis. We might have studied about this in school. Photosynthesis is when trees take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen, the very oxygen that we breathe. Trees also help in prevention of water pollution. Have you ever wondered why there is so much water pollution in the cities as opposed to in the forests? It's because of the lack of trees. When there are trees around, surface water runoff doesn't take place. And when that happens, the water doesn't run off on the surface. It's held in place by the roots of the trees. And when that happens, the water, instead of running off, is observed by the earth, is observed by the soil. And when that happens, the groundwater level increases, the groundwater recharge occurs, and that's how we get groundwater. And groundwater is essential for life in the cities, which rely on groundwater. And the leaves that are fallen on the ground helps in maintaining the texture of the soil. Hence, soil erosion doesn't takes place. The fallen leaves help in preserving the moisture of the soil. And also, because the firm roots of the trees, soil erosion doesn't take place. And soil is better preserved by the absorption of water. Now, apart from these benefits, trees are also home to all the wildlife, and many species of animals and plants find their home in the forests. And these contain many medicinal plants as well, which we used in our medicinal systems like Ayurvedic medicine system or allopathic medicinal systems, which rely on plant extracts to prepare their medicines. Trees are also important in our own physical and mental well-being. Trees help in fighting off anxiety, frustration, and depression mainly. A recent study conducted showed that people who take care of trees, people who do gardening, are less anxious and less depressed than people who don't, people who spend most of their lives away from the nature in the cities. Have you ever wondered why a gardener is so calm and composed? It's because he cares for the trees and he gets that all the benefits. He gets oxygen rich air to breathe. And also, when you care for a tree, when you see it grow from a little plant to a big tree, you feel a sense of accomplishment. The same thing that you feel when you're taking care of a child, when you see the child grow. Similarly, seeing a tree grow, a little plant from a big tree, you see that growth, you see that change happen, it psychologically affects you. You feel more, you feel that you've accomplished something, and it helps you fight off anxiety and depression. Have you seen a hospital and have you wondered why there are certain plants there and why most of the hospitals have a green environment, especially these big hospitals? It's because trees aid in the recovery of the patients. Now, what are the negative effects of cutting the trees? Well, not to mention deforestation and all the things that I just mentioned, the purification of air, the photosynthesis, the water pollution, soil erosion, groundwater levels, all of them are reversed. Air pollution takes place. Water pollution takes place because of surface water runoff and sediment buildup. There is nothing to hold the water in one place because there are no trees. Soil erosion takes place, and we are depriving the wildlife of their home. When the trees are cut, the wildlife is disturbed and the animals don't know where to go, and hence there are animal and human contact. There's wildlife, animals getting in contact with humans, and when that happens, disease exchange takes place. All these big diseases that we have seen over the years, especially diseases like AIDS, COVID, were transformed to humans through wildlife, through animals. And not to mention, cutting of trees leads to deforestation, and which leads to climate change, and climate change leads to global warming. And we are already seeing the effects of global warming on this planet, especially here in India. There are places where there is droughts, and there are places where there's heavy rainfall, and there are places where there's heavy snowfall in places like Kashmir. And when that happens, normal life is dispersed, it's disturbed. Drought hit areas, there's no water, and there's a heavy rainfall, all the crops are being destroyed, and not to mention heavy snowfall and extreme cold is killing people because of cold waves and various other health ailments. So all this climate change is bringing around various types of health ailments, which is difficult for us humans to fight off. What can we do? Well, we can do whatever it is in our power to overcome deforestation and the cutting of trees. Sure, we don't have any power over any government project that is going on. Let's say there's a road widening project going on about 5 kilometers away from your place. You can't go and stop it, of course, but you can do something in your control. You can write a letter to the government that since you have, make a form a society and write a joint letter to the government saying that since because of this road widening you've cut so many trees, why don't you plant the equal amount of trees somewhere else? And change starts from us. We can start planting trees in our own houses. Now this is my house. These are the pots and trees in the front yard of my house. Now I'm not saying that you have to do this or you have to have these many plants. How much ever you can. If you have a front yard and a backyard in your home, you can grow some trees in it. You can grow some plants in it. And if you don't have any space, you can get some pots and grow plants in it. Anything that is in your control, you can do. If you stay a couple of kilometers away from your workplace, you can walk there, or you can take your cycle, or you can go by an EV instead of taking your internal combustion engine vehicle. You can ditch the internal combustion engine vehicle and save 4 kilometers of emission every day. Now, if I want some fruits and vegetables for myself, the market is just about 500 meters away from my house. I just walk there. I don't take my bike, I walk. And doing so, I'm saving 1 kilometer of emission of going to the market. And imagine if 10 lakh people follow that, there is 10 lakh kilometers of emission that is reduced. And if 1 crore people do that, there's 1 crore kilometers of emission reduced, which is significant. And not to mention, if the more the number join in, it goes on increasing 10 crores, 20 crores. So many kilometers of emission has been reduced, which is very significant on the environment. So the change starts from us. And of course, not to mention, you can support the government in all these initiatives. You can write letters to it. And you can use the social media in educating the people and everybody about the importance of trees and importance of forests in our lives. So the bottom line is just this. We have to take care of our environment. We have to take care of our planet. Well, if we don't, well, then no need to worry because the planet will eventually take care of itself. It does. The planet, the earth, takes care of itself. It's a self correcting system, it's a self healing system. It heals itself. It has been doing so for the past 4.5 billion years. We humans are just we have just evolved like yesterday in when you compare ourselves to the history of the earth, which has been here for 4.5 billion years. We have evolved like a few thousand years ago, 100,000 years ago. Modern humans have evolved, and earth has been through far worse. It has been through drastic climate changes, asteroid bombardings, and whatnot, many things. And yet, it has managed to heal itself. And our doings is nothing for it. It will eventually heal itself. But the problem is just this: in doing so, in healing itself, it's going to take any drastic measures, irrespective of what would happen to all the species living on it, including us human beings. So, if we don't care of our environment, if we don't try to heal its wounds that we have inflicted upon it over many years, it will eventually heal itself. It does. But when that happens, it's not going to be pretty for us. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be nasty. It's not going to be good at all. So, we have to take care of our environment. We have to take care of our planet before it's too late. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Have a good time. Namaste.